Morning, everyone. I don't know why I wait so long between videos. I don't know, it's a bit of a thing for me. But alas, here I am. So on the last video that I posted, Coco, shout out to Coco for a great question, asked me a very important question, and one I had to take time to think about answering because I just need to think about it for a minute. Question was, you say that you're not a Christian, but you say that Jesus is your guy. So doesn't that make you a Christian? And, can you explain? Such a great question, because I'm not a Christian, but I am in love with Jesus, and I am a Jesus follower, and I'll tell you why I don't like the label of being a Christian. This might be a few videos, this one, because it's a big one. Christianity is a religion. Jesus wasn't a Christian, right? He was Jewish. And Christianity came a couple of hundred years later when there was Constantinople. I stand to be corrected by anyone out there who understands theology a little bit better than me. And so the Christian religion itself came from when Rome decided that, Christianity was a business, the business of religion. And today that comes from the Vatican Church, the Roman Catholic Church. That's where Christianity originated from. And it became a business, and more importantly, my own personal journey with the Christian religion was a very hard one for me, because I carried, as an addict for so many years, I carried a lot of shame, condemnation, judgment, guilt, rejection, abandonment, and I was deeply wounded by people in the religious environment of Christianity. And I kept myself in that, with those millstones of shame and condemnation for decades. But I really believed I was an on fire, full of the Holy Ghost, evangelical, happy clappy Christian. And I really believed. But what I could never make sense of, and it started like 5-6 years ago, what I could never make sense of is, how come who I thought I was inside, the belief system that I claim I adopted, how come my behavior didn't line up with who not only I had been conditioned to and programmed? You go to Sunday school, you listen to pastors, your parents, your peers. And the way that Christianity is preached in churches has been very hellfire and brimstone, even in today's age. It's preached of like, this is the role model you should be. This is Jesus, and you should be like Jesus. Long-suffering, patient, kind. Turn the other cheek. And then people leave church and go home on Sunday afternoon and blitzen their wife at Sunday lunch table, right? And I could never understand why this is how we should be. They give us the blueprint, how you should be. They don't tell us how to get there. So my searching was, fine, I want to be this human being, which seems so unattainable to people, right? We want to be this perfection. But for us fallen humans, we think, the human thinks, like, I can never get there because it's so hard. And I'll tell you why it's hard. Okay, let me tell you why it's hard. In James talks about faith without works is dead. So people effort their faith. They donate, they go to charity drives, they try and give a tenth of their money, but it always feels like hard work. Now, let me tell you why it feels like hard work. Because the internal compass of your heart, your spirit man inside of you, your healing inside of you needs to happen. The change, I'm stumbling a bit. The change needs to happen on the inside of you first. Changing the outer behavior, changing my addiction on the outside, going to rehab, and not changing the internal state of my being, the internal state of my heart, doesn't work. Changing the outside is a temporary fix. It's a short-term fix. If you don't... Sorry for the interruption. The change has to come from the inside. If you're changing the makeup, if you're changing behavior on the outside, if you stop using, if you get sober. Sorry guys, my words are not great today, but I'm going to get this out because I need to. If you change behavior from an outside point of view, you cannot sustain it, and it's efforting, it's hard. But when you work on your belief system, people do what they do because they believe what they believe. When you work and you fundamentally, there's two things you have to work on, right? And that's what I have worked on, and that's what I've discovered, and that's why I have a different relationship with Jesus. After studying the Course in Miracles, I've never had such a profound healing tool ever. In my 15 years of healing, never have I discovered such a powerfully transformative tool like the Course in Miracles, or Course in Miracles. So you need a shift in identity. People do what they do because they believe what they believe, and they believe what they believe because who they think they are. Does that make sense? So in order for you to change, if you have permanent change and a permanent healing in your life manifested on the outside of you, you have to first, number one, have a correct identity. And I have a corrected identity now. I am the Son of God. I'm not a son of God. I am the Son of God, Jesus in me, the hope of glory. And I am very holy. I am the Son of God. I'm very holy. I am the light of the world, and forgiveness is my function. Jesus called his disciples the light of the world. He called himself the light of the world. We are joint heirs with Christ. So when you know, and the human story is, the bullshit story of the world is, you cannot say you are the Son of God. That is blasphemy. No, my friend. That is your ego speaking. You are the Son of God. You are very holy. You are the light of the world, and forgiveness is your function. Love created you as itself. When I started doing the Course in Miracles and my identity started to shift, my belief system, and your belief system is a mind tool. It's mind-made. It's a human concept. God doesn't need a belief system, right? Everything just is. So in the kingdom of heaven, there's no belief system required. That's why I know it's an earthly 3D matrix thing, a belief system. But you can correct your belief system and your thinking errors. Sorry, I keep bumping the table. You can correct your belief system and your thinking errors in line with the corrected identity. And when you do that, everything that they preach in church, you can be that person. But the church had missed out that very important bit for me, which brought in the shame and the condemnation and the guilt, right? It's so easy to spew platitudes from a pulpit, but to give people the real tools to see themselves correctly is what's powerful. So why am I not a Christian? Because I don't believe in organized religion. I believe you and God have a relationship, and not a relationship just like a mental one. I'm talking like a experiential relationship. Okay, going to part 2 for this video. Hold on, folks.